Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the DJ Sessions Presents the Virtual Sessions. I'm your host, Darren, and right now I'm in the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington. You know, our home, where the buffalo roam. No, actually, we don't have any buffalo, but I got a beautiful view of Mount Rainier out of my studio location. Coming in all the way from the Bronx, we have Herbert Holler today. Herbert, how's it going down there?
Going well. Going really well. It's hot, but it's going well.
Hot, yeah. I mean, we're having a great day out here. I can't see a cloud in sight, but our hot is not New York hot. I experienced that a few years back. I think it was 2021. Went out there for my birthday. We were out there in like late August or something like that. That was sweltering.
yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty.
You know, I'm planning a trip back out there in September this year, early September. So my friend who used to live out there, he's like, "That's a good time to go. That's when the heat is kind of gone." Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Fall is the best time. Fall is a great time. Come see us.
And definitely. We were talking pre-show about that. I definitely want to get that. We'll talk about my favorite genre of music, house. You know, to dance to. We'll talk about a little bit about that, what we can get into when we're out there. But you have been branded as New York City's favorite DJ. When did you get that title applied to you, and how did that come about?
when I woke up one morning and said I was going to call myself that. No,
nice.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun today, Darren.
Yeah, that's all good, man. It's all good, you know.
I don't know. Somebody said it once. I'm pretty sure I heard it. I mean,
it's funny you mentioned that, because I came up with one of our monikers for the DJs. Our tagline is where we feature the best DJs from around the world. And we were out in our mobile studio one night, parked. We had some celebrity DJs playing in the back of our truck in front of the nightclubs in downtown Seattle. And this group of girls walks by, and I overhear this girl walk by, and she goes, "The DJ sessions where they feature the best DJs in the world." Yeah, right, whatever. And I peek my head around the truck and I go, "Yes, we actually do."
Yeah, it's I mean, whatever. It's like
I was like, okay, you aren't even checking out our brand and who we are, what we do, and you're already hating on. It's like, whatever.
I mean, if I said I was the hairiest arms in the DJ booth, somebody would be like, "That's not true. That's not true." You know,
wait, I got one for you. Is it a stick or is it a branch?
I don't get it.
You ever seen that? Somebody puts a picture of a stick on the ground, and then you let the arguments go. It's a stick. It's a branch. It's a stick,
yeah, it's cake. It's cake. I'm a piece of cake right now. That's just moving.
Yeah. So you've been doing this for about 30 years in the nightlife and DJ-driven events. What got you started doing this? I mean, I was reading your bio, but let our DJ Sessions fans know who haven't read your bio. What really got you into DJing?
Let's see. I came to New York in '94. I was pre-med at NYU. I wanted to spend the rest of my life making people happy, taking away pain, and I was committed to doing that. And then I went out one night, and I was like, I remember the party well. It was at Nuyorican Poets Cafe. It was Rocky LaMontagne's All That hip hop poetry word showcase, where it was like open mic. Free jazz. It was like just this whole movement. I'm like, there's no way I'm sitting in a library for the next 8 years of my life and missing this, you know? When I was little, I was born and raised in the Atlantic City area. My father was food and beverage director at Resorts Casino Hotel and some restaurants and nightclubs in Philly, and I always tagged along. So that was just sort of sitting within me, waiting to be let out of the cage, and New York City kind of just opened that cage for me in '94.
Yeah, and everyone knows. I was actually having this conversation with somebody the other day, really briefly, about the term DJ, which obviously originally was disc jockey. You were spinning vinyl, you were throwing those discs, and now what defines the term DJ for you? Because it is a lot of now digital, where it's a digital world. You're still selecting tracks, you're still building your library. You aren't having to fill crates with vinyl anymore. But is it now, would it be really called a disc jockey, or would it be called maybe digital jockey or something like that? Or what defines the term DJ for you?
So during this session, if I regurgitate info, it's from a book, right? And it's also from my experience. Last Night a DJ Saved My Life, the book says that the word jockey came from really riding the pitch,
Oh, okay.
increasing or decreasing the speed. So it's not necessarily discs, you know, per se, but it could be. I think a simple definition of DJ is someone who plays music for somebody else, because you have a whole spectrum of DJs that do different things. Radio DJs, selectors in the club, turntablists. They're really not all this. They don't do the same things. They don't have the same missions and goals. There's like a spectrum, and on one end you have your selectors, and one end you have your turntablists, and I'm sort of more towards the selector than I am the turntables, admittedly. But it's, look, if you're on the subway and you say to someone, "Hey, listen to this song," you hand them their headphones. Well, you're DJing. That's how I see it. Now, if you're talking about professional DJing, we're talking about a different thing. No, there's more to it than just handing your headphones to someone you're riding the subway with.
Uh-huh.
It's, and that's the mistake I think I find clients, like private clients, make when they're looking for DJs. Someone who slaps the DJ moniker in their description or in front of their name may not be a professional DJ. They just might have the software and the ability, but they might really not have the professional chops or the experience behind that. So I think that's where the difference comes in, but not in the definition of DJ, disc jockey.
I hear you there. Pause just for a second. Give a shout out to Andre Ramsey, who says, "Peace, Kings. Holler, I want to send music for you to play during the sets." Let's get that in there. See if that pops up. There we go. Andre's there. Peace, Kings. Saying what's up. Hey, Andre.
What's
thanks
up,
for watching
Andre?
the show today. Awesome. Do you become a different person when you get on stage, or are you a different person when you get off stage, or is Herbert Holler, I'm always on the clock?
I'm the same person I am pretty much everywhere. Like, obviously when people see me on stage DJing or at a party, they don't know anything about me except I'm this big, funny looking, creamy textured dude up there with a big head, rocking to the music and making people rock, but that's all they see. They don't really see the rest of it. But I'm the same as I am on stage, I am off stage. In fact, probably on stage, I would say I'm a little more obviously animated than I am off stage, but I'm the same, I'm easy. Everyone knows where to reach me, where to find me,
Yeah. Do you got any crazy dance moves that you do when you're behind the decks?
I mean, not really. It's just that you'll see me always dancing. I think that if you see me moving and bouncing, that means it's going to be a great night. If you see me back there, like, just push and play and going through the motions, come up and give me a coffee, or like, yo, hit me on the back. Say, yo, let's go. Like, wake me up. No, but I just
slap into a Slim Jim.
Yeah, exactly. I just like, the music gets me going, and I need to sort of give that energy to you. So yeah,
definitely. Do you think that I was going over your bio and you mentioned something earlier, and I wanted to save it for the interview. It was interesting you brought this up, but you mentioned in your bio your dad dancing with you to Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah,
because he was doing some crazy dance moves and then picked you up. And did that actually he put you to sleep by dancing with you? Is that how I read that?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes, that was a way to get me to sleep when I was a little one. I was very lucky to have a parent, 2-parent household, and a dad that was present and really wanted me to get the F to sleep. So he would throw me over his shoulder, and he wouldn't be crazy. He wouldn't be doing like the Running Man or something while I'm up there. He was just more like the two-step, a funky two-step to get me out, and then boom, it was out. And it's funny because my kids, the same thing happened. My wife and sometimes me, we would dance our kids to sleep, and each one had a different tempo and energy they needed. My eldest, who was definitely my most intense, needed not like techno. She needed MIA, like we used to dance with MIA to her in the kitchen. Like,
oh wow,
people sometimes are like, you can't do that to a child. It wasn't. They were just so taken aback by what was needed to put her to sleep.
Yeah,
So she would fall asleep. So that helped me go to sleep, but that also gave me, I guess, some sort of like unspoken appreciation and connection for and to music.
I think my mom would dance around the house, sing and dance around the house, and dance with me around the house too, at an early age. Yeah. And it wasn't until I turned, I'd go to the nightclubs as a teenager, the underage clubs, and as a teenager, and I'd get on the floor for a while, but it wasn't until I really turned 18 and I was able to go to the 18 and up clubs. And one of the first clubs I went to was a club here in Seattle called the Underground, where I
Hmm.
saw Donald Glaude play for the first time, and that was
Hmm.
really introduced me into underground electronic
Hmm.
house dance music. It wasn't
Hmm.
mainstream at that time; it was hip hop and grunge music, especially for Seattle in the early
Oh
'90s.
man, I
You know,
wish
there
I
was
was there for that.
it wasn't. I grew up and was born and raised here. You know, it was that was all over the place. Bands and top 40. You know, very
Yeah.
rare did you find electronic music clubs, and then raves started happening.
Yep.
You know, 91, 92, and those weren't
Yep.
even off the beaten path. You know, we
Yep.
dressed up like the Candy Kids. You know, as you see
Yep.
Party Monster, we were wearing a
Jinkos,
new outfit
baby.
every
Jinkos,
weekend.
baby.
We had a new outfit, something new, something to look different forward to, and you know that just turned me on to the
Yeah.
electronic music scene, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Now you've been doing parties for a while, you know, old school in New York City and Philadelphia, and the 2000s in New York. Tell us about some of the
Chicago also.
parties that you do that you've been a part of or have created and are
Right.
still running out there.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the old school one I do now is the longest running old school dance party and hip hop party in history. Um, as far as I know, I mean, I've been pretty connected to nightlife for a very long time, and 21 plus years and 1,000 plus parties. It was yearly in Chicago. I'm sorry, it was monthly in Chicago for 7 years. It was weekly in New York for 14, then twice a month, and then monthly. And it's been monthly in Philly for 5 or 6. And it's just, it's the same party. It's the same exact party. And I'm blessed. And I'm blessed to have the people to come and they just come to dance and hear me, and I'm lucky, or else I'd be doing something else. Um,
Yeah, that's awesome. I
yeah.
mean, that's just a feat in itself of claim, being able to say this is the longest one. Just doing that, we have,
Mhm.
here at the DJ sessions, we churn out a ton of content, as I was telling you pre-show, as an
Mhm.
independent organization. I mean, do you have sponsors that help you out as like Coca-Cola
Yep.
or Budweiser coming? It's all independently produced.
Yeah, it's all for the last 7 years, at least of the 21. It's been entirely me, with the help of my host, Xavier El Mundo, who's an artist and a dancer, and with the help of my venue, Le Poisson Rouge, LPR on Bleecker Street. And before that, a little bit of assistance from Live Nation's Irving Plaza. Um, yeah, I have an issue sort of pitching, aka sort of begging sponsors to sponsor an event that is so dope and so quality. It's like, I mean, you know, it just seems I've tried it in the past, and it's just a lot of work to sort of get them to agree to sort of sponsor. I've had some sponsors in the past; they really come through connections, but no, it's a sponsorless party for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we've been independently produced. I mean, we have some sponsors like Mackey's one of our sponsors. They've helped us out. We have local sponsors, but as an independent company, you mentioned producing almost an average of 50 events a year. That's almost once a week you're producing something, which can just be taxing. That's a lot of production. I was telling you pre-show, we're ramping back up to be producing almost 100 hours or 100 episodes a month as an independent
Right.
podcast live stream production. Nobody's doing that. That's just almost insanely heard of. And people don't know you got the love of the sweat, blood, and tears that go into
Yep. And it's
putting something
not,
together.
and
You got
people
to be
think,
passionate, and
yeah. And
to
people
know
think
what you're
it's
really
this
putting forward.
this people have no idea what goes into a party. They just
Oh,
come and they see the tip of the iceberg. They have absolutely no idea what I did all week to make that party happen. And for the record, I don't have a problem with sponsorship at all. I've had sponsors. If oh, I don't know, what do I love? I love pizza, Pepe's Pizza. If Frank Pepe's Pizza out of New Haven said they would call me and we want to sponsor your party, I'd be like, heck yeah, I'll pay me in pizza, bro. I don't even need money from you. I love you, right? I have no problem with it. I think the issue is that my sort of movement, now it's 35 and older, it's professionals, it's family folks, it's the older side of the spectrum. And we have such a dope thing. Like, I don't know how savory it is to other companies for sponsoring. I don't know the answer to that, and I don't care, because we have such a special, amazing thing. The room is always packed. We're always firing on all cylinders. Like, I can't stop for a second and say, hey, well, maybe I should go prove myself to a sponsor. It's just, it's just everything is so great. I'm so blessed. And there are always things that you could do better, and that's one of them, appealing to sponsors, but no.
And it's difficult. Like when you're doing a local event, you can get local businesses to come in. When I'm doing a live streaming podcast series, this is going on all over the world. So
Right.
is it beneficial for a local business to possibly sponsor on our show? Because unless they got an online presence, like are people from Europe really going to shop at their store and order and deliver it to them,
Right.
So
Right.
we got to find those more international brands, to go out there and kind of, you got to find that fit, and that can be difficult, but the show must go on. That's the way I look at it. The show must go on, and we got to put it out there and make sure it's happening. So, congratulations. And
you.
That's really awesome. That's a feat to do, to keep something like that living and going for so long and breathing.
It's a full-time job. People need to understand that. I'm not just showing up and playing records. It's it could be a 40 to 60 hour week on the party itself alone.
Well, nobody sees the back end work that I do for the DJ session. They see they see the streaming show and they think, oh, he has a camera, he has a microphone, he's talking to this DJ. That's so easy to do. I can do that. I go,
right.
Go for
Good
it.
Luck. Go for it.
Go for it. Okay, cool. Yeah. But I always encourage. I'm always an open book of a plethora of information. If somebody wants to get into live streaming or podcasting, I'm there for them. I will make time and say, hey, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Get these ducks in a row. Set yourself up like this. Boom. Yeah. I always perpetuate, helping people out. I always tell people, look, I'll give you 99%. Well, I took it down after Pandy to 97% of the information that I know now because I was creating competition. But I won't give you like my contacts at Twitch. I won't give you access to my Rolodex. But I set you up how you get a show that's good enough to where then you might be able to track their attention and get them in your Rolodex, things like that. So we were talking about, we're coming to New York in September, planning on coming to New York in September. And you said one key word to me pre-show that just has gives me goosebumps. And I want to know more about this deep house community that you're involved with in New York City. And when we get there, what can I expect from the deep house community in New York City?
It's as authentic as it gets. Whether you're in Chicago with the warehouse folk or you're in Detroit with the photon folk it's the source, right? So the community that I am connected to are the DJs and the dancers, and each community is just as important within the community. The dancing community for house music is so vital. It's as vital as the DJ community is. And there are a lot of incredible dancers that I am blessed and honored and really privileged to associate myself with and work with and listen to and learn from and watch and feed off of. And there are great DJs. And the real beauty of everything is that we still have some of the original DJs doing their thing, the ones that were doing it in the 80s and 90s. And we get to still sort of communicate and touch those points too, and still learn from them. It's a very tight-knit, special community, and it has so much influence in everything you see in sort of the more commercialized end of the world. It really is the heart and soul of sort of the EDM and the bigger house music rooms. It's like every one of those celebrity DJs or big DJs will always start to name DJs that influence them from these communities, which I'm lucky to sort of be a part of, or participate in, I should say, because I certainly wasn't in New York when it was starting, and but I get to participate with these people, these dancers, the dance crews, the Mop Tops, Elite Force. There's just so many great folk. The hosts of my old school events who, there's so many of it. And it's such a pure, beautiful thing. Right now I'm DJing the House Head Sessions. I'm one of the residents, and that's just a dance studio where all the dancers of the scene come together and dance for one another and share. It's not a competition. It's just like a sharing. And that's run by Lissar and Junior and Mariana. And it's such a great feeling. Conrad Rochester is there. Conrad's been around the world and back with dance. And, we see people like Shan Selby come through. And I've worked with Ejo Wilson, who's just, his name precedes himself in the dance community and house community. So, and the promoters, I mean, there's so many of them. Like, I don't want to, just off the top of my head, the Redness and Becky Nunez and all these folks that have sort of been around forever. It's really special. It really is. That's the best way to say it.
We have here in Seattle a night called Flammable,
Mm-hmm.
and it's supposed to be the longest running consecutive house night in the nation.
Okay.
Maybe even in the world. It's been going. They just had their 30th anniversary.
Wow. Here. And is it weekly, monthly?
It's weekly, every Sunday.
And it's still going after 30 years.
Still going after 30 years. They just, like, last week or the week before, 30 years running, and they brought through everyone.
Well, my headphones off to them.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's pretty awesome. Good vibe. Yeah. I mean, people here, we call it church.
Yeah. That's what they would call church. That's what they would call Shelter, the same thing. And the Shelter, of course, was sort of like the house music party of the, I think, late 80s or mid 80s to mid 90s. That was just, the sort of evolution of Paradise Garage, the evolution of the Loft. I mean, with David Mancuso, and of course, Garage was Larry Levan. It sounds like that. People would call it that because they would go Sunday morning, 8 a.m, and it would still be going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like I said, it's a mainstay staple here in Seattle, which is awesome. Now, here's something that interests me, because this takes me back to my childhood. I'd like to talk to you about. I want to know more about this skate party you got coming up, because I was watching some of the demo the reels on those, and I'm like, yeah, you got anything going on in September when I come out there? Because I'll bring my blades and I'll jump on the floor, man.
Hopefully, it'll keep going, and the event, the night that I've been given by the roller rink / live music venue, will become a monthly thing. That's the hope. But we'll see. Nightlife is a very volatile industry, especially these days. There's a zillion parties, and the economy ain't great, and a zillion promoters and a zillion messages. You're competing not just with somebody, your neighbor, but with like corporate America that's also trying to tap into what you do. So it all depends. Roller skating in the last, I think, 5 years has made a huge comeback. There's been some things online, some movements like Roller Wave and certain other things. There was a roller rink in Rockefeller. What's it called? Rockefeller Plaza or whatever, near Times Square. It was called Flippers. And then there's just been other things too opening up. Yeah, but you're roller skating in the middle of Rockefeller Rock Center, and it's just crazy. And there's been some great movements and people involved. Shout out to Tarek, Jen Jones. It's coming back, and now you have this roller rink is probably, unless there's something else out there, it's the biggest name in roller skating right now in New York City. It's called Xanadu.
Yeah, I saw that, and that's what really tripped me out. I remember that movie as a kid.
I do too, and I was, if you read my bio, I'm a big fan of ELO, and they did the Xanadu song.
Yeah, exactly.
So, not that it was a great song at all. Olivia Newton-John really couldn't even do well with that one, but so it's going to be this roll. I grew up roller skating, so I'm going to be playing all the 80s R&B and some rock and some 70s disco, and it's going to be dope. Maybe some old school hip hop too. Of course, I'll be playing old school. I always play old school hip hop, but it's going to be really dope, and I'm really excited for it. I appreciate the Sultan Room giving me the opportunity. James Buckley. I appreciate Jen Lyon from Mean Red Productions, who gave me the nod as well. It's going to be a really great night. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that sounds just fun. I mean, we got a couple roller skate things out here that that are going on, that pop up, the disco revival, and all that fun stuff, that happens. I haven't made it out to a few of them, but basically, it's that takes me back, because I was roller skating at 15. I was rollerblading at 15. I grew up going to the skate deck every Friday and Saturday night as a kid.
Do the hokey pokey, baby.
Yeah, and until I found nightclubs, then I kind of stopped going to the skate deck.
Right.
That's some fun stuff. So hopefully you might have something going on out there in early September, mid-September, that we could be a part of. I'd love to come check that out. I'd love to just come meet with you in person. Anyways, go out and have some dinner or drinks or something. And meet up with you. But that being said, too, what do you consider your biggest break that launched your DJ career?
That's really hard because I've been plugging away so hard and so long, and there's been so many pivotal moments in the last 25 years that you never know. You might be doing a gig in somebody's backyard for peanuts, and somebody's there and you didn't know they were there. And they gave your name to somebody and you didn't know that somebody. And then all of a sudden you get a call and they're like, oh, I don't know how So honestly, everybody gets help. Everybody gets lucky, but it's my hard work that has been my biggest catapulting force. My refusal to quit when there are times that I really, really, really wanted to quit. And I just stayed with it because it's who I am. And so
I know how that burnout can go.
It isn't just burnout. It was pressure. It was pressure from other things that, existential moments, eureka moments, different phases of development, some, other things that have happened in the last 10 years. I can't put my finger on the moment because there were lots of them. But if I had to say, why are you, or how are you successful? What's done that? And I'm just going to answer and say my perseverance and commitment and hard work. Never given up,
I hear you. Nope. I'm right there with you. Like I said earlier in the show, or maybe pre-show, I've been playing with video cameras for 44 years. I turned 50 in August. And my passion for videography and doing, I didn't go the film route. I actually went the broadcast television route and wanted to be like the Aaron Spelling for local variety television shows, like, where we covered nightlife, we covered art, fashion, restaurants, sports, video games, comedy. I always forget one of the other ones that we had like 8 separate television shows that were going to air every night of the week. Like Mondays would be this genre, Tuesdays would be this, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, all up and down the West Coast, and going big in that broadcast because everyone wants to be the next Lucas or the next Quentin Tarantino or the next, Spielberg, or they want to make movies.
Or now it's the next Mr. Beast or something. It's not
so it's like, okay, cool. I didn't go that route really. I went. I didn't go that route. I want to be a television producer. I like cheap in the now, and that when everything moved to live streaming, we're live right now. This is not a pre-recorded episode, people. You're watching this live. If there's a screw up, well, we just laugh it off and be like, what the fuck ever, It's like, and you see these brands like, Gary Vaynerchuk or Gary V. I don't know if you know who Gary V is. Or you see, Joe Rogan, and they're in this podcasting world, and they're churning out content. You look at their early footage of how, in a sense, how crappy it looked. Now they got
closet.
Like a closet or something. And it's like full on production. And you got people that get into this whole game, and I got to have the studio and the lights and the setup. I'm like, this is all natural light coming into my office right now. Yeah. I got my microphone. I look good. My audio should be good.
Yeah.
90% of people aren't going to stare and look at it like this and go and watch for an hour.
Right. This bird is fake. It's not moving. I didn't give it a tranquilizer. Like that sun is fake. That water. I mean, this is a real place. One of my favorite places on earth.
Yeah.
Leeds Point section of South Jersey, way in the marshes, lost to all of civilization. But this is fake.
Nice. Yeah, I hear you.
That bird won't move. It just
gotta pause for a second here and give a shout out to Kea Clayton. Kea Clayton says, "See you Friday."
See you Friday on the Mashulu in Philly. Penn's Landing, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Old school dance party.
There you go. Okay, this one might get you a little in trouble. I'm going to ask you this question here is, who's your favorite DJ, and can you tell us why?
Honestly, right now it's me. Because I just love
there.
I just love the way that I connect to the music, the way the music, I always get goosebumps, the way I feel it, the way that I see when I close my eyes and hear music, I see places and things. You know how Pharrell says he sees colors? With me, I see places, like people doing things and vibes and locations. And so I just love the way that it affects me, and the way I find to translate that effect to the audience. Like if I'm out at a party and there's a DJ, I'm always like, there are moments when I know that it could have been done better. Um, I think that's the best way to answer that question without getting into trouble. Although I'm probably in trouble now because people are going to be like, "Oh, you're so conceited." Like, okay, but I have influences.
Yeah. Who's your
I
top
have
three
influ-
influencers?
I would say DJ Evil D of the Beat Miners, Black Moon fame. He was one of them. DJ Goldfinger, who was the club killer back in the day. Um, Other influences include like listening to Louis Vega on the house music scene, super dope. Yeah, I think that's a good yeah, it's a good little
Nice.
smattering of influence. Yeah.
Who would you say the most inspiring person you've ever met backstage was, and tell us why this person inspired you?
Oof, that's a
After
tough
30
one.
years, you probably met a lot. I looked at all the people you worked with in the past. You got a roster there. So
Inspiring.
yeah.
Um, oof. That's a really hard question to answer. Who is inspiring person? Just a DJ or a promoter or
Anyone backstage that you ever met. Like, I was backstage, so and so walked by, said what's up. I was like, damn, they dropped some knowledge on me, and I've
the
taken that to heart forever.
I've had the extreme good fortune and luck to have some hip hop luminaries um, come by the event. Grandmaster Melly Mel from the Furious Five, he comes by and he's just he just has this great attitude and he's in great shape, and he just comes and he gives everything he's got to it. He's just a cool guy. And then recently Grandmaster Flash came by himself and just hung out for about 2 hours by the booth and was just like, he gave me his seal of approval before he left. He's like, this is dope. And he's like, and then he texted me afterwards and said, you're really doing your thing. And that was very inspiring. I don't know if that's motivation or inspiration or both, but that was really, really dope for that moment. Yeah. I really, honestly, for me, like I do this to make people happy. So my biggest inspiration is always my dance floor and the people who come week in or month in and week out, month out to come hear me spin and to make the effort to be a part of that dance floor and to really give off that energy. That inspires me more than anything, to make people happy and smile and celebrate and be joyous. That's my biggest inspiration, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's yeah. It's interesting. When you get that media badge and you're backstage and you're really going to start chatting with people, and they're letting their hair down, Or my inspiration is really like talking with you. Like, if you were to come to Seattle and you're doing a show, I might only get you for 10 minutes backstage, and then you got to go on and perform. Or I might have to wait till after the show and I might get another 30 minutes with you. Right. But then it's like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Who wants to be doing interviews at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, Yeah. So, getting like my inspiration is sitting here and I get you like for an hour pretty much. And I get pre-show, I get post-show, and getting to know people, getting our audience. So that's really, everyone that comes on the show is an inspiration for me, and hearing about their stories of whether they're kind of new to the game, 5 years in, 10 years, 20, 30 years in, and hearing their story of doing the research and kind of asking them questions, and that's really a big thing for me, is my inspiration to do all this.
I want to respond to the word that you use, show or performance. I never call my DJ gigs that, ever. There's nothing to see. That's why I think what threw me off about your inspiration question is backstage. There really isn't a backstage. Like for me, oftentimes there's no stage. I mean, there is one at my residency, but there's no show. There's nothing to see. There's just everything to feel, whether it's the person standing next to you having a great time or just the energy. Sometimes I'll look out on the dance floor, and as annoying as it is, I'll see one tall dude standing there just looking around, just like absorbing everything that's happening around him. And it kind of annoys me, but at the same time, I get what he's doing. So it's just never a show. There's nothing to see. But yeah, the inspiration for me is really the people that come.
Gotcha. So, what would you say your ultimate goal as a DJ is? Like, is there a mission statement that you have,
Yeah.
that says, this is my mission statement. This is, if I had to put it in writing and put it in gold, 24 karat gold on my wall with diamonds laced in it. What is your ultimate goal as a DJ? And that would be your like mantra you wake up every day and look at and kiss it. And like, that's my goal.
Right. To make as many people happy as I can with music.
Mm-hmm.
So
as many people happy. Yeah.
As I can with music, to reach and touch as many people as I can. And all the while, make enough income to support the family.
I hear that. Definitely. It's that flip. Most people don't know. Most DJs out there are working a day job. And then they do this on the side. It's kind of a hobby, or they might turn it into a business. Unless you go into that, which you have, you go into that event DJ type of thing where you're doing weddings, bar mitzvahs, corporate events,
everything
things of that nature. There's, I never liked it personally when like a nightclub DJ would I wouldn't say talk trash, but they kind of, oh, well, you're an event DJ. You do weddings, you do bar mitzvahs, you do parties. It's like, well, yeah, I'm getting paid $2,500 for setting up my gear and lights, and you're getting paid $150 or maybe $50 and a couple drink tickets. I run this business. You're running this as like party in the clubs, So
we all have no tolerance for ambiguity in this world, so we try to make sense of everything, and it might make some DJs feel better when they see other DJs really eating, just to look at what they're eating off of, and instead of saying, well, how is that different from what I'm doing, and do I want to be a part of that, they're going to let their emotions take over, and say something like that. As someone who's still in the clubs, probably more than other club DJ or just as much, and someone who's still, doing that end, and someone I think the best way ahead to make you the best DJ you can be is to have the full spectrum of events in your itinerary, in your schedule. The private events like weddings and corporates and mitzvahs and this and that, they pay a heck of a lot more than you're going to make in a bar for 5 hours.
Exactly.
But it's a little more client oriented, and you're a little bit more of a jukebox, but truth be told, you're a jukebox at your residency at that lounge too, whether you like it or not. You think you can go up there and play what you like, not for long, because the owner of the bar is like, hey, the night that you got, it's not doing so well, man. So either you make the people happy, or we got to get rid of you. Just try to do as much as you can, spread your wings, do as much as you can. And if you don't want to be that, if you want to be someone who just does the bar stuff or the lounge stuff or the club stuff, or you just want to be a hip hop DJ and not really an open format type of person playing events, that's your prerogative too. Like, whatever is best for you. If you can avoid knocking other people down, that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sad that people do, they look at it, but I got people that they hit wedding season and they're like, damn, I have 7 gigs a week, this wedding, this birthday party, this thing. Yeah. Sometimes 2 gigs a day. They got to split it off and do stuff like that. It's
happens,
kind of crazy. Congrats on doing that part of the business. I'm gonna ask you, do you listen to podcasts or live streams or radio shows?
Never,
ever.
And I have everyone looking at me.
That gets rid of that question. I was gonna ask.
I mean, I'm just honestly, all day I'm working, and I got 3 kids, and I don't got time. I don't got time to read that article that you just sent me. Oh, you got to read it. No, I don't. Shut up. I don't. What I have to do is market myself, work my butt off, get my butt in the gym to keep myself healthy and in shape, and go to bed as early as possible and do gigs and love my family. That's what I got to do. At the end of my day, I got about an hour left for me when my day is said and done. That hour, you get in the shower, you're laying down in bed, you're putting on something stupid or something that you like on TV. Right now, it's Port Protection. I love Port Protection on Disney. Love that
Core
show. It's about
Protection?
port protection. It's about a small little island in some island in Alaska, and it's about this tiny, tight-knit community.
I think I know that. It's a comedy, isn't it?
No, it's a reality show about a small.
Oh, it's a reality show.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
love
not the
it.
one I was thinking of.
I
Then.
love it. It's total. I get to decompress. I get to remove myself from my reality and watch these people really roughing it and just trying to get their food and water for the day. And I love it. No, I don't have time to listen to this one's podcast or too many damn opinions, too many damn talking heads. It's just noise. I remember I feel like was this in the late 80s or early 90s when you had that diet lady who's like, stop the insanity. Who that crazy lady with the spike? She was like blonde beach. She had like dyed hair, was spiked, and she had this workout thing. And what she was saying was there's all this diet madness and all that. She was like, stop the insanity. That was her whole shtick. That's how I feel like with podcasts.
Yeah,
it's enough. Like I don't want to. Okay, I got it. Okay.
Well, obviously during Pandy, the rise in podcasts like doubled and tripled because people were at home and like, well, I'll start a podcast series. I'll start talking to the show.
And just like I'll watch you because you have the experience and the knowledge. But there are just some people who get on and they're like, yeah, I just want to talk today. Go brush your teeth, man.
I was predicting that in 2020, and I was telling it when I was doing podcast interviews and live stream interviews. People were interviewing me, and I'd say, we're going to see, all this come on. But then when Pandy opens up and everything opens back up, you're going to see a 60 to 80% decrease in content creation and a 68% decrease in people watching because we were all stuck in front of our computers for 2 years. Now you want to get out. I don't want to be in front of a computer. I mean, they might put a podcast on their phone and listen to an interview, but it better be damn good. It better have some quality to it. It better not be a who, what, why, where, and when. And okay, where can people find out more information?
I got like a
stack. Is bad or the audio is bad. So
I got a 4-foot stack of books next to my bed I need to read. And I want to read before I listen to another podcast, I need to say something to the audience. Disclaimer, when Darren says Pandy, he's talking about the pandemic. He's talking about COVID. I don't know why he doesn't say COVID. I don't know.
It's just my nickname for it. I just call it Pandy.
The pandemic.
I don't want to say pandemic because that's just that it could be PTSD to some
people.
COVID.
It takes 6 seconds. COVID.
PTSD to people. No, it's Pandy. Okay. We're going to do Pandy.
It feels like a panda, a cute panda. That's like
yeah. So we want to give a shout out right now to Joe, DJ Sparkles, Nicholas.
Oh,
he's go Herbert, excellent work.
That's DJ Sparkles. That's DJ Sparkles, South Jersey's finest. He's a DJ down at the Jersey Shore on Absecon Island in Margate and Ventnor and Atlantic City. His selection is bananas. Like you'll walk into his set, his gig, and he's playing a song that's your favorite. He didn't know it was your favorite song, and he didn't know you would be in there. The man has ESP. It's crazy when he plays. I walked in the other day, and he was playing Protection by Massive Attack, which is one of my favorite.
Oh, I love that track.
And I'm like, how the F? And then I had a dinner like get together with some friends, and he starts playing the Smiths.
And how soon is now?
Stuff like that. And the person I was sitting with, that's his favorite band. And I'd never heard Joe play that, Sparkles play that before. How did he know what is happening in some other dimension that he's tapping into that we can't see? That man is a genius on the selection. Shout out to DJ Sparkles. Yeah.
Shout out to DJ Sparkles. Right on.
Right.
Back to the interview here really quick, though. Is there a certain age that you see yourself that you would stop DJing?
Oh, man, I'm about to have an existential panic attack right now because of that question. I can't see myself continuing to do this past 55. Okay. It's just physically I'm in shape and I'll keep in shape. I go to the gym, I do all that. But it is taxing on you physically. I'm starting to feel in my posture, in my shoulders, and my back sort of, too many times I'm not bringing my own stuff. So I'm leaning over something that's not right instead of having it, all this other stuff. So physically I can't see myself continuing to do this after 55. It's really taking a toll physically. Plus it's your sleep cycle's messed up and it's very unhealthy to not be able to fall asleep at this. You need to go to sleep at the same time every night if you can.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm going to do is open up my own spot. And somebody's like, oh yeah, that's not going to mess with your sleep cycle. So I'm going to be up all night with that too, but at least I can set it and forget it. Like if I have to work late, yeah, 55, I'm thinking that's going to be, it's going to become, okay, let's say this. Step one of my exit will be a hobby. It'll be a hobby,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when I'm 55. Yeah.
I hear you there. No, I mean, like I said a couple times, I turned 50 in August. Staying out till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. It's not that I can't do it. I have a high metabolism. I could do it. If I shave this off, people would think I was 27 years old.
Right.
My energy, my outgoingness, and all that fun stuff. No big there. But all my events that I do now are like pre-funk events, like a 5 to 9.
Right.
Or, I do my silent discos from 12 to 4 because people my age, they have kids. They can't take their kids out to the electronic music, but they come to the
Right.
park and do a silent
Right.
disco with us, get their electronic music fix on, but then I can put a kids station on. Their kids are dancing to Baby Shark or something like that.
Right.
They're having a family experience out in the park in the sun and the daylight.
Yeah.
And you're not doing that staying out till 4 in the morning, and then there's the after parties, and then you're waking up and it's sunlight's coming up, and you're like,
Going back to your question about when I see myself retiring, I should say that at either 55 or the money stops coming in. Because if the money stops, I gotta do something else, and it's gonna be hobby right away.
Yeah, I hear you there. I hear you there.
Yeah, 55 or bust is really a great way to.
I hear it.
Yeah.
And when you're not entertaining others, what do you do to entertain yourself? You mentioned you have books. You mentioned you watch some TV.
I don't read the books. The stack is still 4 feet high. I haven't touched it. This has been a problem for me because it's hard for me. I made fun my living, right? I've made the party the most fun thing, my living, my job. So what do I do to entertain myself? Going out to eat with friends, being around my family, going on little road trips to farms a little bit upstate, chilling out, watching a good TV show, drinking with some buddies, spending time with my wife. Those are ways I find to have fun now. I don't really go out anymore just because of my hours. I just don't like to be out unless I'm being paid for it. So I love food. I still love music. Go see a live show every now and then. Last live show I saw was, darn, I don't even remember. I've seen a lot though, but I have one coming up. It's in August. It's Smashing Pumpkins and Green Day.
Nice.
Together in Philly. That should be pretty awesome to get my teenage angst out. You know what I
mean? Nice. Yeah. We're gonna wrap up here. A few more questions to go for you here, but tell our DJ Sessions fans about Lift.
Why we Lift is it's interesting because it's okay. It's their strategy is to help create generational wealth for people who would never be able to do that. Help people have access to that. So, we know that in this country, a lot of someone's financial situation has been passed on to them. It's not just like far and few between are the stories of people coming from nothing and making something out of it. That doesn't happen all the time. Most of the time, or at least half the time, it's people sort of inheriting a cushion. And so Why We Lift provides assistance and knowledge and strategies to create that, to help families who don't have that cushion create that cushion for themselves and their future generations. And I think that's really cool.
Awesome. How did you get involved with that?
One of my best friend's wife is there.
Okay.
And she one time told me about it in passing, and they had me DJ something, or that they were going to have me DJ something. I'm like, you know what? I'd like to start being more proactive on a regular basis with good causes. So this sounds like a great one. And, I looked into them, and these days you have to be careful about associations and connections and, where's the money coming from and who's doing that. It's just like, it's just madness. Everything that's happening right now is absolute madness. So I did, she's great. I love her. And my best friend's wife. And I looked into them and all seemed kosher to me. So they're one of the causes that I'm, helping to make known.
Awesome. Congrats on that, man. It was always, the DJ Sessions Event Services, we formed ourselves as an LLC first, but then we applied for our 501c3 status. Our mission is really to make sure that we're giving a platform for independent artists
Nice.
musicians, people that are in the music community, a platform to get out there, to be heard, get exposure in a sense, but also facilitate the growth of educating people that want to be in the business, whether they want to be in
Okay.
film and television or internet distribution or doing tech stuff or whether
Right.
it's social media and all that fun stuff. We really perpetuate, try to give back to the community because, like I said, I'm an open book. Somebody comes to me and says, I want to learn how to do a podcast series. I won't turn them away. I say, well,
Right.
get over here, and
Yeah.
read this book and read this book and do this,
Yeah.
do this,
Same.
do this, and
Same.
up and run it, and
Same.
spread the love to expect, so people can express themselves, in a professional way, rather than trying to hunky dory do it and you're like, and then they get burnt out because they like people did online live streaming and they have 3-4 viewers watching every time and then they get burnt out like nobody's watching me. Well, because you're going online where the rest of the world is going online. You can only have one person can watch one show at a time.
I'm also starting to sort of like guide sort of other DJs that are coming in. I've been talking to a bunch, and some of those DJs are doing really well online with their numbers, but when they go to an event, it flops. And they're like, why, Herbert? Why? I'm like, let me ask you a question. You just spent the last 3 years enslaved to an algorithm, studying it, researching it, making sure that you're on time, that you're doing everything, that you're watching the algorithm. Don't you think there's an algorithm for live music events too? And did you research that one?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to put, it's a different arena. And you got to learn the rules of that arena too. It's not easy. It's not like you have 500,000 followers on Instagram and you just did a party that flopped. Well, how come it didn't translate?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because, welcome to nightlife, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Nightlife has its own rules.
Yeah, exactly.
People want to do everything. People want to do everything for free. As soon as you put a price tag on something, so it begins.
Exactly. Well, Herbert, is there anything else you want to let our DJ Sessions fans know about before we let you get going?
You can reach me at www.herbertholler.com. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at this. If I watched the podcast more, I would know what to say right now. www.herbertholler. Oh, it's already there. It's there.
It's right there for you.
Right. You can email me, Herbert@herbertholler.com. If you have any questions on Instagram, I'm at Herbert Holler. Same thing on Threads. On Facebook, at Herbert Holler. My page, at Herbert Holler, HerbertHoller. It's right there. DJs are normal people too. It's not that we're rude or that we're short, but if you're coming to talk to us when we're DJing, it's like trying to go play patty cake with someone who's juggling. There's a zillion things that we're hearing in our ears, and a zillion things happening in our head, and all the while the stress of having to keep that dance floor packed or I'm fired. So please just understand that we can't give you attention, conversation, and stuff like that, and we're not. Well, I think DJs are pretty crappy people overall, but we're normal people too. And yeah, that's it.
That's some good words. Definitely do not disturb the DJ at the DJ booth, and do not make requests unless they have.
I didn't say that. I'm okay with requests. It's like, get to it. Give me like, hi, you're really doing great and you're killing it. Everyone loves it. But no, that's not the way you do it. Just come up and you can show me on your phone, or you can say, play Bad Bunny, whatever the heck you want to do. I don't care.
Yeah, it's all relative. Some DJs, like you said, like requests. Some DJs like, don't bother me. The big thing is having people, taking pictures with their phones now, and they're capturing that moment where a DJ might go like this, but the angle they might get it from might look like they're picking their nose or something. Then that goes out there and goes viral. And DJs are like, damn,
that's
what the
okay.
hell?
I mean, you might catch me fucking digging. That's all good.
Awesome.
Happens.
They're in digging the music. Awesome. Right. Well, Herbert, thank you for coming on the show. Thanks. We definitely look forward to following up with you here in the next 6 months. We try to keep everyone relative. There's always, because everyone always has new stuff going on.
Mhm.
would love to connect with you when we get out there to New York. Check out some of the events you
Yeah.
have going on.
Yeah.
The roller skate party sounds awesome. I'd love to come
Yeah.
out and check out that house music party. That sounds even way more up my alley too.
Xanadu.
That'd be amazing. So thank you again for coming on the DJ sessions. It was a pleasure having you
Yeah.
on the show today.
It was a pleasure being here, especially because you can see how much you love this stuff.
Oh,
And
thank
that's
you,
inspiring to me, being a part of
thank
that.
you.
So thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, on that note, don't forget to go to our website, thedjsessions.com, where you can find exclusive interviews like this. Join in the exclusive, get in the chat room, maybe ask some questions. Exclusive mixes from the DJs that we have. We have over 600 news stories aggregated to our website all month long, 24 news stories a day. Got contests, the store, buy a shirt, get a guest appearance, donate to us, help us out at thedjsessions.com. All of our past episodes are there, searchable. You can find all our socials there, again, at thedjsessions.com. I'm your host, Darren, coming to you from the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington, coming to you from the Bronx, New York City, the Bronx. We got Herbert Holler on the DJ sessions. And remember, on the DJ sessions, the music never stops.